One of the things that's always fascinated me since I was a little boy was how things fit together and the mechanics of things and the way we interact with the stuff around us. My name's Jason Waterhouse. I'm a sculptor, fabricator, bit of a gallerist as well. And I'm out here today at a factory in Sunshine in the western suburbs of Melbourne. We do all sorts of sculpture fabrication, so everything from steel fabrication right through to bronze casting and all sorts of approaches to making artworks. About 10 years ago, I made my first plant work, and I've been slowly making more and more plant-based works ever since. There's an overarching theme in my work where things are bending or mutating or shifting in these kind of impossible ways. I have this existing object that people can relate to, so you create a connection with the viewer, but then I kind of manipulate them and change them in a way that it becomes this possible thing that's completely impossible. And I love to think that that nature will, conquer. In recent times, the cotyledon's been popping up lots in my artwork. I think just it's almost a convenience thing. It's sort of like my gateway to work, and there's all these planted out, and they cast beautifully as well. What I'm doing is direct investing a cotyledon for bronze casting. So here we use a process called lost wax, which is where you create an object out of wax, or in this case, a combustible material. We put a ceramic mould around it, which we can then pop in the kiln. Through the firing, it burns the object out, creating this void, if you like. So there's this magical moment where the sculpture is space and time, it's just air. And then we take that air and we fill it full of bronze, molten bronze, which is at about 1200 degrees. From that point, it's a waste mould, so we water blast off the ceramic from the bronze, revealing the piece. Hopefully it's a perfect cast. And from there, we need to then cut all those pipes and airs off the work so it goes back to the original object, in this case, the succulent. And here it is in its final post-cast finish. So we've cleaned all the surfaces on it. And then I'll be painting the succulent back to that sort of powdery white blue that they are naturally. We're really passionate about eco ideas and green spaces. We have a huge solar array on the roof. We collect all our water. We have a reed bed which recycles our grey water as well. Oh, and these were the live-to-air satellite dishes from the ABC that we've used for planters. And then we've built this beautiful green space down the northern side of the factory, which we grow our veggies in through summer and winter. We also have an orchard and even a beehive. It's become this beautiful haven for birds. It's become a haven for us as well at lunchtime, and it creates this lovely shield from the greater wasteland that is the urban environment here. As well as my own art, I am in this very privileged position where I get to make artworks on behalf of artists who don't necessarily have the scope to do it in their own studio. So that tends to be large-scale works like public artworks or museum works. We recently were fortunate enough to create the new Indigenous smoking ceremony dish for City Square in Melbourne, yet to be revealed. The project was initiated with Green Shoot, and the concept was dictated by Auntie Joy Murphy-Wandon. Auntie Joy was very passionate about speaking to the manna gums, and so Auntie Joy wanted me to sculpt manna gum leaves and flowers, but at all the different stage of flowering. And then the bottom plane of the work swings out and then reveals a second sculpt, which is a sort of more graphic interpretation of the manna gum flower. And then the person who is leading the ceremony can then burn the leaves and go through the welcome to country or whatever the event may be. This piece here is for the new Anzac Station. Maynard did the design, and then I hand sculpted a series of 11 poppies in wax. Like all things that we do here, they're always a first time thing. So when I was approached to do poppies, I quickly visited a friend's garden and had a good look at those. And what I learnt was that they tend to have 4 petals, or on the type of poppies that relate to the shrine. We then put them through the lost wax casting process, and here they are straight out of the cast. So these haven't been retouched or anything yet, except for one of them. But I get the fun bit of putting all the information in and creating the textures to try to create a really beautiful object that's going to be a new gateway to the shrine. I'm really interested in this idea of the human sort of element in the natural world, and that sort of push-pull between the built environment and the natural environment as well. I spent a lot of time in a factory in sunshine, and I'm yearning a little bit to be in my home. Friday's a nice day because I get to return home to Glenlyon, and you know, coming down the valley, you know, into the property, and the air's clear, and you know, I get to hear the river, and if it's the right end of the season, and it's just nice to be home. I live on a beautiful bush property with my partner Magali. We've been there for 19 years and raised our 3 children there.
What is the stuff that's in the tree you see? What is
that? It's a type of mistletoe.
Yeah.
It's actually native.
Oh, is it native?
Yeah, the lollygobble, I don't know its real name, but Dad's always called it lollygobble.
That would be right.
My father bought this property in 1984 when I was about 8 years old. We found this place with the incredible river, although it was completely overgrown with noxious weeds. This area where I'm sitting was an impenetrable paddock of gorse. You couldn't get to the river here. But over many decades, we've slowly cleaned the place up and revegetated huge areas and brought in native grasses again. And it's been one hell of a journey. This big old manna gum here behind me is one of my favourites on the property. It's been here since I was a boy, and all the little trees around it, the now big trees, I've watched grow from seedlings. It was this tree that supplied the branch for the work slump. You can see the broken off in the fork there. A mulch truck came through and knocked it down. I'm like, there it is, there's my branch for this artwork. And then what I had to do was collage from different branches and join each piece. So then they created the form, and then I recarved sections and repainted sections and presented the actual manna gum branch, you know, sitting against a wall and in a state of kind of exhaustion. When you look at the work I've produced, it seems quite abstract, but it's strangely autobiographical because each work maps where I'm at the time. So Slump is very much about me being pretty exhausted. Like I've been working incredibly hard for quite some time, and the work, I really wanted to speak to a certain tiredness, but hold a beauty within that. I feel so incredibly lucky to have somewhere where I feel such deep roots and connection to the place I live. Like, it really is my home, and I feel really privileged to be there. And I think the manna gums coming up in my work are a bit of a celebration of that. This place for me is everything. It's where I belong, and I thank every day for it.